Hello, my name is Taylor Brown, and today I'll be talking about poverty. There is no power in the house or running water. The parents work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but they will still never be able to pay for all the luxuries that other people have. The children will never be able to play a sport. They will never understand what it's like to sit down at a restaurant table and order everything on the menu. This is a family that Americans today define as poverty. Most people have a set image in their minds that poverty is an underfed child that is nothing but skin and bone. What people do not understand is that poverty is everywhere, not just in the undeveloped countries. It is here in our cities, in our neighborhoods, in our backyards. Yet Americans decide today to turn a blind eye to this issue. They refuse to open their eyes and see what the real world issues are today. Today I will be speaking on the true meaning of the word poverty, talking about the effects of poverty and the solutions that we can implement to reduce the numbers of poverty living. According to the Poverty Facts website in 2018, the average poverty rate in the United States was 38.1 million people. This means that 11.8% of the United States lived in poverty. The percent seems to be small, but 11.8% of the population is over 30 million Americans that lived in poverty. The real question is, what does poverty mean? According to the Investopedia, poverty is a state or condition in which a person or community lacks the financial resources and essentials for a minimum standard of living. Poverty means that the income level is low and that basic human needs cannot be met. Living in poverty is measured in several different ways. According to the National Center of Child and Poverty, the United States government measures poverty by a narrow income standard that does not include other aspects of economic status. Most families in poverty must pick between some essentials such as feeding their kids or having shelter. No one should have to pick between those. It is so inhumane that Americans think nothing about this issue. There is no one definition of poverty. One must look at poverty in several different perspectives to truly understand the meaning. There are two different types of poverty, one being absolute poverty, which means the measurement of poverty only with concerning of the amount of money necessary to meet basic needs such as food, clothing, shelter, and safe drinking water. This poverty does not allow children to see a doctor when sick or attend school to get an education according to the Habitat of Humanity. This is where Americans need to step in. Children in poverty are not getting a fair chance to succeed in life. Another type of poverty is relative poverty, which means deprived of the minimum amount of income needed in order to maintain the average standard of living in society they live in. This type of poverty can keep money away from the disabled, the ones that cannot work. How is that fair? How is it fair that we are judging people because of the way they were born? Living in poverty has so many effects on American lives. Not just adults, but children as well. Children that grow up in poverty do not get chances as a normal child would. They do not get the opportunity to go to school like normal children. According to the Franciscan Works states that 82% of poverty children from ages 6 to 11 never attend school. This is 121 million children that live in poverty that will never attend a school. Those children today will grow up to little to no chance to do better than what they came from. They will have to continue living in poverty because of the lack of education they received. Those children that were raised in poverty had no choice. They were born into it and learned to adapt. The children that the Americans decide to turn their head on and ignore because they have dreams and aspects for their lives as well. They are normal children. They want to strive for greatness just like everyone else. Another problem that poverty causes is world hunger. World hunger kills more people than AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis combined. Mercy Corps states that the undernutrition is the cause of 45% of deaths among children under 5. The poor are hungry, and their hunger traps them in poverty. I want you all to think about this. Over half of the United States population did not have enough food to live a healthy lifestyle. That is approximately 1 in 9 Americans that have no food. It is crazy to think about all the resources we have today in this world, and world hunger and poverty is still an issue in today's society. Americans waste up to 133 billion pounds of food yearly, according to the Times website. We throw out unfinished food while people are in poverty and starving to death. As Americans, we can help by making awareness of the situation by using social media. Social media has become a must in everyday life. So now it is time to use the voice of good of social media. For an example, people could share stuff on pages such as Facebook, Twitter, and other platforms. Those simple actions can help people learn about global poverty, and it will increase the knowledge about this issue. Also, people can donate money that will help in so many ways. Donating not always in the form of money can also be clothes, books, and groceries. Anything would help the poverty families. Another action people can do is increase access of proper sanitary and clean water. With those accessibility to the poverty families, then it can affect them direct by healthy and education. According to the Borgen Project, over 2.8 billion live without having sanitary water. Lack of clean water can spread disease and infections, which can cause death. In conclusion, I informed you of the meaning of poverty, the effects of poverty, and which ways to reduce poverty. Poverty has a tremendous effect on millions and thousands of Americans today. Poverty is an issue that needs to be addressed worldwide because it is, if not, the issue will continue to get worse and worse. Thank you for listening to my speech.